Blended learning addresses the questions of where and how students come in contact with information, communicate, and receive feedback. Students can find resources online given to them by the educator or sourced by themselves. An educator can set up a whole class discussion online where students can communicate their thoughts on a video or article and ask questions. The educator can provide individual feedback in a Google Doc or can respond to questions in a whole class discussion. Blended learning incorporates technology as a method of interaction, student to content, student to student, and student to educator.
Good day everyone. Last topic we discussed about how a blended learning looks like and what are the models of blended learning look like. Now we are going to discuss about this learning content. First, we have the advantages and disadvantages of blended learning. Second, the set for 5 useful tips for exploring blended learning. And lastly, we are going to discuss on how a simple blended learning lesson looks. So before we formally start our discussion, I just want to leave this quote. A little progress each day adds up to a big result. So now we are going to formally start our discussion. So before we start, why it is important for us to know the different advantages and the disadvantages of blended learning. So at the end of the lesson, we are going to tackle on what are the benefits or what are the different advantages, disadvantages, and how it is important. So first of the advantages is produce high level of academic achievement as the learning have opportunities to work on their own and to create new perception condition. We know that students have different kinds of academic achievements. Some are academic, some are arts, some are music, and we are going to. One of the advantages of this academic is they encourage to work on their own because it is online and para bang they able to create on their own perception and condition. So the second is to improve students' attitude and perspective about education, especially in a blended learning. Students are encouraged to be more to be more especially in blended learning, students are being especially in the blended learning, the students are encouraged to be more responsible, especially in the respect about education or their perspective about education. Third, it can reduce educational expenses by putting book in online space and replacing costly book with electronic devices. So we know that when we are going to traditional school or face-to-face classes, it has a large total expenses, including the books, the gas, the commute fees, and others. So instead of paying for books, we have what we call the online space such as the Google Drive. So in the place of books, we have internet. So kaya sinasabi dito na it improves the students' attitude, perspective about education, because also of the it reduces education expenses. So fourth, it is one effective ways for personalized learning among a large number of students. So we know that blended learning, especially in Zoom, it has no limited students that can learn. So di kagaya ng traditional way or the face-to-face, it has limited number of students within the classroom. But here at the online or the blended learning it is important na lahat ng students ay makakarinig, lahat ng students ay makaka-participate sa mga different activities. So lastly, it motivates using technology in other content areas of learning such as science, math, and other subjects. Kasi online na, marami ng mga internet source kagaya ng science and math. So science and math has a different kinds of formulas na hindi madali-dali ma-explain ng teacher or ng lecturer or ng classmate po. So when we are in online learning, we are encouraged to be more responsible in searching on our own or creating our own percept. So, mag-research ka, then kagaya ng formulas, ng solving problem. So, that is the advantages of blended learning. Next, we have the disadvantages of blended learning. So, first is learning can become dependent and predisposed on the use of technology. So, kagaya ng ang sinabi ko kanina na dahil sa expenses is na nababawasan, ang students naman ay mas naging irresponsible pag using of technology. Instead na papasok sila sa klase nila tapos makikinig is hindi na sila nakikinig kasi may ginagawa na silang ibang mga gawa kagaya ng Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. So this is learners can become more dependent and pre-post of the use of technology kasi kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina na internet is different has all of the information you need for your subject kasi a simple topic can be research in the internet tapos makukuha mo ang answer na iyong ninanais. Next, we have the students may procrastinate the lag behind on the materials. Almost half of the class will have to wait to watch several weeks worth of videos, just one settings, rather one regular basis. So, kagaya ng mga delay of internet. So, one of the disadvantages is yung internet connection. So, internet connection delays the process of knowledge among the students. Hindi dahil mahina ang internet nila is hindi sila nakaka-catch up or malabong makaka-catch up sila sa mga lesson na tinatakay kasi gaya ng low internet connection or brownouts. So this is also one of the disadvantages of blended learning. So next we have the procurement of blending learning facilities made to be costly. So, kagaya ng Zoom. Zoom is magbabayad ka kung gusto mo mag-Zoom. Kagaya kung gusto mo mag-class via Zoom is magbabayad ka which is magkakos talaga na money. So, it's also behind learning facilities made to be plus costly. So, number 9, IT unfamiliarity among teachers could be a problem. Useless, they undergo extensive training on blended learning. So, we are known that hindi lahat ng mga teacher is hindi lahat ng teacher is magagaling in using technology, intellectual technology. So, because of this unfamiliarity of among teachers, ito ay nagiging hindrance ng student para maka-learn. So, unless they undergo extensive training on blended learning on how to make a how to use the technologies, different kinds of technology for their class and online basis or in blended learning. So, number 10, number 5, extra work and effort is required of teachers, especially in initial conceptualization and implementation of blended instruction. So, dahil sa online, malayo tayo sa isa't isa, is nahihirapan ng mga teacher or nag-extra work sila on how to para ma-implement nila ang kung gusto nila activity. For example, group activities. So group activities is one of the least disadvantages among the activities kasi malalayo yung students. So the teacher will have the extra work or effort to find activities, especially on how to motivate their students. So blended learning. This is the blended learning. In conclusion, as any other method, blended learning has its bright and dark sides. So the combination of self-paced education and face-to-face training can be beneficial, but only we use it wisely and apply it. So that's all for the advantages and the disadvantages of blended learning.
One good example of this application is a Google Classroom. Aside from that, we have an educational video conference where the teacher and students have online interaction through video call or Google Meet. Unlike traditional classroom instruction, hybrid learning is student-centered. It helps students to have active learning opportunities and engage them with challenging concepts such as self-reflection or self-assessment.
Now that we know about the different kinds or the different disadvantages and advantages of blended learning, now we are going to discuss the set of 4 to 5 useful tips for exploring blended learning according to Tucker of 2015. So first, think big but start small. In spite of the presence of the ability of the various online platforms, teacher or student should start by picking only one from them at first. One should master. This means that one should master and be proficient in using it before moving into another or going to next or combining them in another. So kagaya ng ginagawa ng mga teachers natin is we have 2 online platforms na ginagamit natin in learning. So first is the MS Teams and the second is the Google Meet. So we know that MS Teams has one of the disadvantages kasi malaki siya kumukuha ng data, especially sa mga students na gumagamit lang ng mga mobile devices, hindi ng Wi-Fi. So we know that different online platforms is malaki ang impact for the learning of the students. So the students should start by picking one of them at first before going to another online platform. So we should be reminded from the old maxim says that great things start from small beginning. Second, practice is a virtue when trying something new. So it is not impossible that one will make mistakes when trying out a new technology. It should be noted that the mastering this means that mastering the use of a certain technology takes time and patience. Seeking assistance from the others technology accessibly will certainly be of help. So when we are going to use technology, kagaya na sinabi na kanina na it takes time or training, extensive training on how to implement the blended learning. So this means that the patience is a virtue when trying something new. So kagaya ng gumamit ka ng isang technology tapos hindi mo alam paano ito gagamitin. So you are going to research on how to use technology or magpapaturo ka sa mga tao na alam kung paano ito gamitin na technology. So next we have the third we have the technology shouldn't be just a field. So the use of technology is propelled by the intention to replace the existing one hardly works. Technology is not employed just because it is the latest fad. So technology hindi ito ginagamit dahil ito mas accessible, dahil ito yung mas available. Using technology and blended learning or the online platforms is nakaka-use mas nakaka ang tawag dito is mas nakakatulong sa mga estudyante. Kasi it is not, sabi nga dito that this technology is propelled by the intention to replace the existing one that hardly works. So instead of using the old style of teaching is gumagamit na tayo ng online or blended learning. So fourth is weaving media together makes them stronger. Technology should involve working online platforms and the physical classroom. This means that the students should be more, the students should make constant that the use of technology, online technologies, supplement and enhance classroom instruction. So by using different kinds of technology and online platform is na-encourage ang students to use more or the media for instruction or the learning about a certain topic. Kagaya na lang ng mga environmental issues or environmental crisis na in-experience natin ngayon, students are more encouraged to be to be responsible citizens, not just in the classroom basis but also here at online. So because of the use of different media together makes them stronger. Students should have made online technology supplement their classroom instruction. Kagaya ng ngayon is we are now a centered learning. Every student should know how to use the PowerPoint presentation para mas ma-enhance or para mas ma-practice kung paano gamitin ang different kinds of technology. So lastly, students needs to know where they can get online. So internet connection should be made available in school campus and outside its periphery. So this means that they may be advised to use their mobile phones to ensure internet connection. Hindi natin alam naman natin lahat that the WIMSO Apple campus have the free Wi-Fi for the students na makakatulong sa kanila kung kailangan nila or need nila ng strong internet connection para sa blended learning. Kagaya ng municipality, according to UNTP, it has according to the law na meron na tayong free Wi-Fi for public places kasi nakakatulong ito for awareness naman sa lahat ng mga tao na using the internet is helpful talaga, not just for the students but also para sa iba ng mga tao. Online learning or the provision of virtual learning environment allows the teachers to meet with the students without physically or being present. Students can communicate with their teachers about their topics or questions they ask on school or may they ask on their school task. So we know that in online platforms or the blended learning, some teachers are not going into their class or they will leave an activities for the students to answer. So because of the use of technology or social media, the students is easily communicate their teachers through chatting them on Messenger. So now we're going to discuss about the digital natives or the digital immigrants. So learners who are born in the last 20 years in industrialized country refers to us as the digital immigrants. So who are the digital immigrants? They are proficient using of technology. They adapt using blended learning approach. Controversy of those who were born in the prior period that widespread of adoption of digital technology. For example, digital immigrants are not active users of technology. They are considered as a passive consumers of technology. So aside of the digital immigrants, we have an example of the Generation Z. Generation Z or the generation born after 1980s, for they entirely lives They entirely lives has been surrounded by technology, social media, mobile devices, computer, internet, and etc. At this point, in digital natives includes the Generation G, or millennials or zennials. So that is the digital immigrants. So next, we have the National Council of Teachers of English use the term 21st century literacies to describe the different learning supported by the ability of collaborate using digital technologies in learning. These are the literacies are powerful because they are linked to one another according to NCTE, active, and 21st century global societies. So we have what we call the 21st society that is supporting the National Council of Teachers the National Council of Teacher of English. So first we have profession and fluent with the tools of technology. What do you mean by this profession fluid of technology? So um, technology frequency transit device such as app and programs. This is the implement of the study. This implies that the study of the students can quickly be accurate and deliberately communicate and collaborate to create across the online platform. So next we have the um, next we have the efficient in creating cross-cultural connection. So this means that cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication is the process of recognizing both differences and similarities among cultural groups in order to effectively engage within the given context. So the third one, a designer and a contributor of information of global communities to meet a variety purpose. So um, klaro na kayo no na these contributors of information of global communities, they are the one who is reinforcing global competence, for it is vital for individuals to thrive in a rapidly changing world for communities and society. So next is a critic and evaluator for the multifarious multimedia text and information. So this means that evaluation using the information of monitoring to analyze the process, programs, and the project to determine. So these are the opportunities to change. So it is important for us to know the evaluator of the multifarious multimedia text and information. So para mas maging active tayo pagdating sa mga information. Next, we have the technically responsible user of technology. Who are the ethnically responsible users of technology? So we kita mismo na tao ang responsible for the technology. So responsibility use of technology means engaging with technology safely, respectfully, and ethically. So this means that understanding right from the wrong. As a responsible user of technology, I take a step to protect my personal information. I respect and take care of the technology as I have access to. So kagaya ng mga online platforms is we as users, we are responsible for the technology that we are using. We should not violate any conduct sa kagaya ng mga cyberbullying. So, as a person is responsible tayo kung paano natin gagamitin ang technology na para naman talaga sa atin. So, engaging with technology safely, respectfully, and ethically. So, we're going to be more responsible in using those kinds of technology. So, now, we're going to discuss on how a simple blended learning looks like. We're going to discuss on how a simple blended learning lesson looks. So, the following lesson plan adapted from a developed by Andrew Howard He illustrates on how the learning lesson plan is dropped. Read carefully and detect. Listen carefully and detect the section that implicitly indicates the blended learning. So, wala akong layout kung paano gagawin itong blended learning lesson plans. Kaya, bibigay ko lang sa inyo on what are the parts of this blended learning lesson plan. So, first of this is the lesson name or topic. So, this represents the integers on the number of the line. So, from the word itself, lesson name, the topic, dyan nakalagay ang topic mo. Next, we have the overview. The students will learn about the positive and negative integers values in the number line with their corresponding absolute value in the individual positive and negative integer. From the beginning sa lessoning or the topic. So our topic is the representing integers on a number line. So the overview is this. The second, the students will learn about the positive and the negative integers values on the number line. So next we have the goals and objectives. So the students will able to accurately locate the place of the negative and the positive integers on the horizontal number of the diagram. So this format is, for example, the students are be able to be able to blank. So this means that gagawa tayo ng objectives and goals na dapat nating i-implement for the online online or blended learning. So, fourth, we have the materials. So, these are the materials that accessible to our topic. For example, in our topic, the representing of integers in the number line. So, the materials here is the access to smart boards or whiteboards. So, sa Google Meet is wala tayo ginatawag na whiteboard sa cellphone, pero meron tayong whiteboard pagdating sa PC. Kagaya ng sa MS Teams, meron tayong ginatawag na whiteboard. Pwede ka doon solve ng problem or etc. So, next, example of materials is the digital learning device access, online number line activities, then group work areas. So, group work areas, ano nga bang mga group work areas? So, in online, anong ginagawa natin? So, we are going to create group chats, then doon tayo magdi-discuss kung ano dapat ang gagawin natin ganyan. So, online discussion board. So, ito na yung mga PPT natin. So, we have also the 20 to 33 rank and 3 steps. So, ito yung strategy na ginagamit ng some of the teachers. So, number 5, an anticipatory set. Ask students to write down the coldest and the hottest place you think of the entry slip. So, kagaya ng mga placards, example na lang yung mga placards. Nakalagay doon is the Philippines, US, America. So, in anticipatory test, the students are going to think about or kung ano talaga ang differences ng ng mga nakalagay sa entry slips. So, these are the use of the entry slips. So, they are going to discuss for example, a teacher has given you a problem, so you can use the whiteboard. You can use the whiteboard for solving. So, ito na tinatawag natin na anticipatory set. So, next we have the instruction online and online. The following anticipatory activities, the classroom will go over the activities and goals of the day, and the upcoming activities will be completed to meet the set goals and objectives. So, from the beginning until dito sa instruction, and then the anticipatory test is para siyang kumikreate ng ng students para maging ano tawag ito, para maging responsible daw, para maging active sila in terms of activity. So those activity na binigay mo sa classroom will hit the objectives and the goals you set for your topics. So from the beginning, from the lesson, overview, goals, objectives, materials, and anticipatory test is nag-iisa-isa sila pagdating sa instruction or online to online. So this complete the mean or the set of goals and objectives. Next, we have the individual practice. To begin making the connection between the temperature number line and the overall goals and object of the lesson, the student will transmission to interactive online lesson explaining the roles of positive and the negative integers na topic natin. So, the students will place the integers on the value number lines to identify the absolute value. So, kasi nowadays we are student-centered learning na. So many students nowadays, many learners, students ay gumagawa na ng mga PPT reports, research reviews na which is na sila yung nag-share sa class, then dito na yung papasok yung individual practices. So pagkatapos ng instruction na kung anong use ng mga entry slips, ng mga anticipatory activities. So here in the individual practices, the role of the students to become a responsible of their own tasks. So those who will finish early will receive additional enrichment in the form of practices. So students need additional reinforcement if they have the disadvantage or they have the weakness in terms of the online platform. So last, ay lipat na tayo. So number 8, group learning. The following competition of the online number line lesson. The competition of the online number line lesson. The students will be divided into 4 groups, and the 5 members will A5 group. So the students will brainstorm their real world ideas to a number line. So excluding lang dito yung mga natackle na. So the students will brainstorm their knowledge dun sa GCs nila, group GCs nila, para mas maging mas ma-designate nila per students the type of their collective their ideas and sentences in the online discussion. So next we have the exit sleep or homework. So near the end of the class, the students will be assigned with the task of reviewing the follow classmate discussion post, to comment on the two posts they like or the most as the evening homework. So in their comments, the students must explain why and how it chosen. So from the word itself, exit sleep or homework. So this is the end of your class. So near the end na siya. So you're going to give the instruction of the students. So for example, next class we are going to have a activity, or your task is to make the different advantages and disadvantages of blended learning. For example, again, so that is the example of the exit sleep or homework. So that will be all for my report. So if you have question, please message me at jpad360@gmail.com. So thank you, God bless, and thank you for listening. Thank you.